Okay, I have a story. Today is May 6th, 2018, and yesterday was May 5th. Amazing, huh? How that works. May 5th is the anniversary, you could say, of when I believe it was 8 years ago. 10 years ago? 8 years ago. Oh my goodness. It was 2010. Yeah, okay, so 8 years ago. Sorry, I should figure this out before I start talking. I had a friend that year who found out she had leukemia. And in the end of April, beginning of May there, I had gone to visit her one day. I'd been seeing her quite a bit. I was actually using one of her rooms as a prayer ministry room all of that winter and into the spring. And so but this particular day, I went to see her. She had been diagnosed and she had begun her chemo treatments. And her hair was just starting to fall out. And as I visited her with her, it was a Monday evening, and I, out of my mouth, I assured her that, you will still look beautiful without your hair. And and then after a bit of visiting, I went home. Now, up into the weeks or the month prior to that time, I had been reading a book by the Arbinger Institute called Leadership and Self-Deception. Fantastic book. If you've never read it, I would encourage you to read it. The premise is, or in a nutshell, it is that when we have good thoughts for others, we usually immediately push them aside. And then we justify our pushing that good thought aside with a rationalization that makes us right and the person we might have done good for wrong. For instance, if someone comes to me on the street and they ask for some money, maybe it's someone who's homeless, right? And they're asking for some money. And my first instinct might be to say, yes, let me give you some money, but immediately I will have thoughts of, but I don't know how this person's going to spend it, or, they're probably just going to use it on drugs anyways, or blah, 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 right? Whatever we might be thinking. And then we don't do the good thing that we had thought of. And then that justification, it makes us seem like the righteous one, the wise one, the whatever one, and it puts the other person in a bad way and gives supposedly good excuse for what we're not now going to do. Oh, hang on, I'm cooking carrots. I think I can hear them boiling hot. Woo. Don't want to burn the pot. Okay, so I had just finished reading this book when I saw my friend, and I get home that evening, and I was replaying in my mind that I had said to her, you're going to look good without hair even. Like, it's okay. You'll still be beautiful without your hair. Which I sincerely believed. Like, I didn't say that out of flattery or, trying to pander. It was completely sincere. But I realized how hollow it was still at the same time. And in light of this book, let me say, so, because I still had my hair, and my hair at the time was long and dark. It was down to the middle of my back. So who am I, with all my hair, saying to my friend who's losing her hair, it's okay, you'll still be beautiful? It just rings hollow and empty, right? So I realized it was just this moment of clarity to shave my head, cut my hair off, and to stand alongside my friend. And basically to put my money where my mouth was. If I think you're going to be beautiful bald, without your hair, would I risk to do the same thing? And I realized I had to say yes. It was this profound shift within me of courage and of boldness, of intention, of just this really, really solid thing. And I knew I couldn't push the thought aside because I'd just been reading this book about how we do a disservice to ourselves and to each other and to the world at large when we push away these thoughts of how we might bless someone. I didn't want to do that anymore. So I had this thought to cut all my hair off and shave my head. My daughter, though, her and my son-in-law, they were getting married within 6 weeks. So I knew that at the wedding I would be pretty much, or no, maybe it was, actually I think it was 9 weeks, sorry. It was 9 weeks until they were getting married. So I figured I should ask them. So I said to them, I said, so you guys, here's what I'm thinking. I said, but I don't know how much hair I'll have at your wedding. Would you be okay with this? My daughter was fine, and my son-in-law was fine. He says, oh, of course, Mom, you have to do this. It's just this really sweet hearts from both of them. So then I called my sister, I told her what I wanted, and asked if she would come the next evening. This was Tuesday, so I'd seen my friend on Monday. Tuesday, I realized I wanted to cut my hair off and shave my head. Had talked to my daughter, my future son-in-law. They had said, yes, this is all good and fine, and really understood, and were completely good with it. And then I called my sister and said, would you come tomorrow evening and cut my hair for me and shave my head? And she agreed, and she came that Wednesday evening, and that was December 5th, 2010. Now, this decision to do this was completely from sort of the depths of my being. I didn't think anything beyond, just that I knew I wanted to do this, that it would be important to stand by my friend in this way. So it took a little while to chop my hair short and then shave it. It's actually quite hard to do when your hair's long. It's quite a few steps, or you get it kind of short and then it's hard to actually even shave the rest of it. That took a while. And then I took a picture of it with the back of my head showing in a mirror, so a picture of me front and you could see the back. I just reposted it on Facebook actually yesterday. It came up, which is partly why I'm thinking about this, because it came up as one of my memories, right? And I reshared it. I've shared it a few times, but so I put this thing on Facebook, and the responses that started to come in sort of blew me away, really surprised me, because of course I hadn't even thought about how anybody else might respond to this or take it. I think it was then the next day my friend calls, and I never got her call, but she left a message on my voicemail and just weeping and thanking me. I would go in the days that would follow, I would go to do some writing at Starbucks, as has been a habit all through the years, and strangers would hug me and begin to cry. I kept my head bald for 8 weeks because I wanted, it really turned into a prophetic thing of the Lord, and so I waited on the Holy Spirit to tell me when it was okay to let my hair grow again. And it was eight weeks actually. So every day in the morning, instead of washing my hair, I was shaving my head in the shower. It was very strange. I remember one day sitting in Starbucks, and it was hot. It would have been in June by now. And it's so warm, I'm like, it changed my body temperature having my head bald actually. It was quite interesting. But there I'd be, my bald head would be sweating, and I'd be with my napkin having to wipe the sweat off my bald head. Decidedly unfeminine. Absolutely. Bald men in cars would drive, like I'd be walking down the street, and bald men in cars would lean out their window and they would go, "Yay, I love your hair, I love your hair." It was the funniest thing, sweetest thing. But again, the reactions of people was astounding, and something I was completely not expected for. And what occurred to me was, that I think we're all just waiting to be moved by something. And also how easy it is to move people. All I had to do was act in an authentic, generous sort of offering to my friend, and it so impacted people. And of course that went on for weeks, because I was keeping my head bald for weeks. And it was, I think, the bravest thing I've ever done. And since that time, nothing has scared me. Virtually, nothing has scared me. Nothing seems scary anymore. It was this thing of intention and resolve and just decision to just take action and to do something wild and extravagant out of love. And it changed me. It seemed to change, or at least impact, a lot of people. And again, I just learned that it's really easy to move people, and that as a people, we're waiting to be moved. We're waiting for extravagant acts. Since that time, I have found that extravagant acts don't have to be big, actually. That often simple things. I did another video of spending an afternoon laying with an elderly woman on her bed in Uganda one day, some years back. And that simple thing moved people as well. Created this, just sort of surprised people in such a way that they, from what I could tell, like wouldn't stay the same anymore. And man, how amazing it would be if we could continue to do these things out of an authentic, compassionate, generous heart of love and affection for each other. And I think the world would be a different place. But that's my story of shaving my head for a friend and a bit of what came of that. So I never forget this date, May 5th. Somehow, it's like seared. It's like it's tattooed on my arm, because I don't even know why. I guess it was just such a significant thing to do. It didn't feel significant at the time. Like, you have to understand that. It felt, well, of course I'm going to do this for my friend. That's what it felt like at the time. It felt a bit scary, but it didn't feel like a big deal. It felt like, of course I'm going to do this. But somehow, I think I guess it was a big deal. Something significant in our lives. And, so that's my story. Have a good evening. Have a good day. Have a good morning. Thanks for listening.